When I was a kid, my parents would take me and my siblings for random drives to different places. We would love this because of the sightseeing and, of course, getting out of the house. We lived 15 minutes out of town, so we were already located in an adventurous area. The place we went to on this particular day was only 5 minutes down the road, down by the river. We'd been down by the river plenty of times before, mostly to go fishing. This time though, my dad wanted to go looking for old vintage bottles that may have washed up onto the banks, or more likely buried in the riverbeds. My dad had been collecting old bottles as a hobby. We'd recently gone out to the forestry 10 minutes west of where we were that day, and he found some pretty cool and fancy bottles from the early 1900s, maybe even the late 1800s. I'm not 100% sure. The actual spot where we stopped at was on a dirt road. On one side of the road were houses spread out about 100 metres or more apart due to the farmlands and swamp areas, so it was quite open. On the other side was just scrublands and swamp that backed off from a creek that ran off from the river. Since I was about 4 years old, I always called this place down by the river very strange. I'm not sure why though. Thinking about it, it was out of town. It was secluded and awfully quiet. So much so, it had an eerie vibe about it. You would mostly only hear boats going by along the river or an occasional car driving past. After we pulled up on the side of the road, my dad told us to stay in the car with Mum, and he would go and inspect the area to make sure it was safe. As Dad gradually climbed off into the scrub, we stayed in the car with Mum, chatting amongst ourselves. I really wanted to get out and explore though. 5 minutes went by. Dad wasn't back yet. Did he go off looking for bottles without us? I hope not. 10 minutes went by. Mum was starting to get worried. "Come on, hun," she would say to herself. 15 minutes had now gone by, and we were all wondering what was taking my dad so long. He should have returned by now. He surely can't be too much longer. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, my dad burst out of the scrub, sprinting for the car. He started it before he even got in it, and we drove away at full speed. "Darl, what's the matter?" "Not in front of the kids. I'll tell you when we get home. Let's just go." "Darl?" "There's a cannabis crop in there." I heard what my dad had said and kind of knew what he meant. I just didn't understand why he was so scared. From my understanding is that my dad stumbled onto the crop and didn't want to be seen near it in case being accused of growing it or even taking from it. It's mainly an illegal substance, so he didn't want to be a part in it. But for all I know, my dad could have seen someone there. Maybe the growers. Maybe they had guns. Maybe they seen my dad and were chasing him. They could have bailed him up and he got away. I'm yet to ask him to this day what actually happened. My mum and dad only know what really happened in the scrub that day.